Hello everyone, welcome to the history of CAT. So today we solve a problem on functions which appeared in CAT 2019. Okay, before I start with this, as I always say, please go with the basics of function which is there on the website of Storyboard so that you will understand this problem even better. So let's start. For any positive integer n, so n is given to me which is a positive integer. F of n is equals to n into n plus 1 if n is even, and f of n is equals to n plus 3 if n is odd. So I know two functions. When n is even, which function will I use? When n is odd, which function will I use? So I know both of them. Now a new variable m. If m is a positive integer again, so m is a positive integer just like your n, I have m which is also a positive integer. So we are only talking about positive integers here. Such that m is a positive integer such that 8 into f of m plus 1 minus f of m is equals to 2, then m equals what? Okay, that is the question that is being asked to me. So how will I start with this? This is what I need to find it out, right? I need to find out what is the value of m. So write this: 8 into f of m plus 1 minus f of m is equals to what? 2. But there is a problem here. m could be odd or m could be even. So m could be even. Okay, m could be even, or you can say m could be odd. You can say m could be odd, and that is where I have a problem. M could be even or m could be odd. So let's start with one at a time. If I put m as even, what will happen here? Imagine what will happen here. If m is even, if m is say 2 plus 1, it will be 3. If m is even, m is 4 plus 1, it will be 5. Turns out to be odd. So if m is even, if you add 1 to any even number, it will become odd. So this is becoming odd. And when this value in the function is odd, which function will I use? I need to use this when n is odd. When n is odd, right? And instead of n, but what do I have here? M plus 1. So I know which function will I use. I'll use this function because the value inside the function is an odd value. So I'll use this function. But instead of n, I'll write an m plus 1. So write here m plus 1. So I'll also write here, instead of n, I'll write an m plus 1. M plus 1 plus 3, that becomes what? M plus 4. M plus 4. Okay, so how do I write this now? This becomes 8 into f of m plus 1, which is nothing but m plus 4. That's what I get it here. Okay, minus. Okay, minus of what? This is m is now what? Even. M is even because we have substitute this value as even. And whenever it is even, which function will I use? When n is even, this is the function that you use. Okay, and now just instead of n, I'll put an m here. So f of m is equals to m into what? M plus 1. That's what you have it here. So now just get it here. So this becomes m into m plus 1. Okay, because it was even, so I use this function, and instead of n, I'll substitute m here. So this is how it becomes. This whole thing is equals to 2 as it is given here in this part. So this is what I get as a value of the function if m is even. Now let's solve if m is odd. What is it like you're getting from this? So if m is odd, what will happen here? Check it out. If this is odd plus 1, will be what? Any odd number, say 3 plus 1, 4, 7 plus 1, 8, 9 plus 1, 10. This entire thing will always become what? Even. The entire thing will become even now. Since the value inside the function is even, which function will I use? I'll use this function. Now because this value here is even. And okay, and what is the value? M plus 1. So instead of n, I'll write an m plus 1. And here also I'll write, instead of n, I'll write an m plus 1 instead of this, and into m plus 1 plus 1, that becomes m plus 2. Okay, so what is the eventual value that I get? M plus 1 into m plus 2. M plus 1 into m plus 2. So let's substitute it here. 8 into m plus 1 into m plus 2. Okay, that is what I get from this part. So this part is being solved for this. Okay, now let's go with the next, which is now m is odd. So this remains to be odd because this is pure m, right? So this will remain to be odd now. Since this remains to be odd, which function will I use? I'll go for this function, and instead of n, I'll just write a m here. Okay, because This is what it is. The value inside the function is an odd value, but instead of n I have an m here, so I'll substitute an m here, and this becomes m plus 3. Then this becomes m plus 3. So let's just write it here now, minus m plus 3. The whole thing is equal to 2 because it is also given here. Okay, now let's just solve this. Now let's take what is the minimum value that m can get. What is the minimum value that m can get? M is a positive integer. M is a positive integer. So what is the lowest value that m can get? 1. Right, because integer is 0, minus 1, minus 2, but we need only a positive integer, so the lowest value that m can have is 1. So let us just substitute 1 here. So this becomes 1 plus 1, 2. This becomes 1 plus 2, 3. This remains to be 8. 8 into 2, 16 into 3, 48, minus 1 plus 3, 4. This turns out to be 44. So the minimum value that I can get with this function is 44. How can that ever be equal to 2? This can never become equal to 2. Even the minimum value is 44, then after that it will just keep on increasing. If you can imagine, if you put m as 2, it will again increase. If you put m as 3, it will increase. So it will just go above 44. It can never reach to 2, which means the assumption that we have taken, that this function where m is odd, is wrong. This can never happen because m can never be odd. If it is odd, LHS is not becoming equal to RHS, which means m has to be even, and this thing has to be true. So let's just solve this and get the value of m. So this is 8m plus 32 minus m square minus m minus 2 is equals to 0. I take a 2 here. So this turns out to be minus of m square plus 7m plus 30 is equals to 0. Okay, now what will I do? Take out the sign. So this is m square minus 7m minus 30 is equals to 0. So two number whose multiplication is 30 and subtraction is 7. 10 3s are 30, right? So I'll write this as m square minus 10m then plus 3m minus 30 is equals to 0. Take out m from this, so what remains is m minus 10 plus 3. If you take it out, what remains is m minus 10 is equals to 0. Now take out m minus 10 and m plus 3 is equals to 0, which means m is equals to 10 or m is equals to minus 3. M is equals to minus 3 is not possible. Why? Because m is even. So m has to be equal to 10, which means m is 10. So it's a theta question. You'll be given a box, and inside the box you have to put a value. So put the value as 10, and that will be your answer. Okay, so how do you solve such kind of problem? So there were two functions that were given to me, one when n is even, one when n is odd, and there is one more function which was in terms of m. Now I had to get m as even or m as odd. So if m is even, if m is odd, what is the value that the function is taking? Is it becoming even or is it becoming odd? If it is becoming odd, I'll use an odd function. If it is becoming even, I'll use an even function. Eventually I compare LHS and RHS and see what is the final value of m that I can get from this. Okay, so quite an easy question, just an application of function here.